Blue Lock Chapter 325 has just released. The ending of the Nigeria game is finally here. An absolute crazy conclusion for the first match of the U20 World Cup. This is one of those insane chapters where I don't even want to talk about it or tease it in the intro. Let's not waste any time and jump into it quick. The chapter picks up right where we left off. Isagi has the ball and is running upfield with only 1 minute left. We see even Henri is surprised, got her head turned 180 degrees and everything, calling his name and wondering what he's doing as we see him running up the field. Kuso is surprised, and I feel like I'm a broken record saying Kuso is surprised every single chapter, but he's shocked and saying no way is he planning to score another goal in just 1 minute. A Nigeria player calls out that he's coming and to counter him. Isagi swiftly passes though, and the ball goes to Itoshi Rin, who says he isn't satisfied. Isagi with the most serious side eye tells him, "Then come on, you beast." And yo, Isagi, the tone he's saying this, it's like he's damn near commanding Rin to follow him at this point. Is he forgetting Rin's also #1 with you? The next page reveals both of them making it up the field together, easily weaving one Nigeria player and Sadiq, which sends the rest of Nigeria into a big panic. Mr. Clean shouts out that they're building up a combo attack again, and even the goalkeeper is shouting from all the way back there. Got bro looking like Walter White. I know he's sick of seeing a blue lock at the goal again. Another player shouts out to shut them down, and Isagi just stares at them and decides to pass to his side where Karasu is. This completely bamboozles Mr. Clean, and Karasu smiles, complimenting Isagi, which is the biggest switch up in Blue Lock history, by the way. 1 second he's calling him the weakest link, and the other second he's calling him the Demon King. This is the equivalent of your homies hating on you at the start of your grind, preying on your downfall, and then once you make it, they start writing it like no tomorrow. Isagi tells Karasu a nice pass and says he'll lift it to Bachira as we see him handing the ball off to bro. The OG duo is here, folks. And take a good look at Bachira. This man is on a generational run because he quickly makes light work of 2 more Nigeria defenders. And at this point, bro, the defenders are like 0 and 8 in Blue Lock defenses. I'm actually starting to think the old U20 Japan defense is better than Nigeria's defense, which is a crazy statement considering how bad they were. Kuso shouts to look out for Isagi Yoichi, and oh brother, you cannot make this up. Bachira just weaved the hell out of your 2 defenders, and the last time you said this, Bachira scored, and he's still glazing Isagi instead. The Krispy Kreme levels of production from Kuso to Isagi, gotta have Harvard's greatest minds studying this. And even then, I don't think science can explain the sheer scale of how much he's complimented Isagi. I will say it's kind of valid for this moment though, because he hasn't scored yet, and that's what he points out. He says he's going to aim for his own goal for the last point. However, Bachira says in his mind no, and how shallow that thinking is. Our egoist, referring to Isagi, can't be measured by logic. If he simply wanted a goal, it would have been better to just keep comboing with Rin. So in other words, Isagi is just messing around at this point, experimenting with everything he can do. Bachira backs this up, saying he deliberately chose to pass to him, so Isagi wants something else. And we see Isagi point his thumb down while looking at Bachira, signaling something to him, which this gotta be something exclusive to Bachira and Isagi. They doing some non-verbal communication. They've transcended words. Bachira smiles with his aura eyes popping up, and he says, "Isn't that right, partner?" as he backspin passes the ball towards Isagi and Rin. I just gotta point out, Bachira's performance in this match might just be one of the best we've seen, because even after his goal, he's still landing passes and assists. The goalkeeper shouts out for everyone to gather in front of the goal. Kuso starts making a run as we see the pass nutmeg 2 other defenders. Like, dog, what are we doing, man? I don't think the defense has actually contributed to anything in this game. Aboabona uses goddamn kung fu to block Itoshi Rin, and Bello shouts out that they won't let them pass, as Kuso and Onazi both jump in front of Isagi, saying to stop him. Peep the levels of stress on their face too. They know Isagi is gonna have even more words for them if he scores this goal, so they gotta turn their game faces on. And you know what Isagi does, seeing both Kuso and Onazi jump in front of him? He says that's it, he was waiting to adapt to that, as he turns his back towards Kuso and Onazi. Oh my god, you're telling me Isagi wanted to get blocked on purpose so that he can adapt even further? And yeah, I know he's been saying that for the past few chapters, but still, seeing it here is insane. Onazi is absolutely stunned, just saying, huh? And he says that move isn't that his reverse trap just now. So Isagi just yoinked his play. Isagi really out here stealing people's abilities. If Ryo is the person who copies other people, Isagi is stealing from other people and making it his own. Kuso points out that it's not the aerial one. He arranged it into his version of a ground pass. And now Kuso's starting to realize the gravity of this situation. He says that this is bad. Isagi played them both. And in an instant, the new move Onazi invented just now, he made it into a design for himself. And this is just bonkers. Isagi, holding back Kuso and Onazi, sends the pass upwards on his Nagi Seishiro timing and says, don't win by luck, seize your own victory, as the puzzle pieces start to flow around him. We see some movement, and next page reveals Isagi jumps up mid-air in a kicking motion while his foot turns into puzzle pieces. Nah, someone stop Isagi. Genuinely, when was he able to jump like this? I know we've seen it a bit during Manshine, but bro, this is the first time we've seen something like this from him. The actual levels of hype I got when I saw him spin around made me happier than a kid on Christmas. The dopamine hit was equivalent to OG Fortnite. If you know, you know. Kuso and Onazi can't believe what they're seeing. Just look at their eyes. That is the look of pure terror. Isagi dialogues that he shouldn't get shackled by his own formula that you've created once, while Onazi dialogues that this is the guy chasing to be the world's #1. We see a gun in the corner and Isagi in mid-air kicks the ball, saying this is his experiment, which by the way, this gotta be the best Isagi shot panel. I prefer this one over the U21. Isagi says your own ideas, the thrill of the unknown, the curiosity to yourself, as we see Isagi shoot the ball into the net, scoring the 4th and last goal of the game. He did it, y'all. Bring out the champagne, folks. It's time to celebrate. Isagi Yoichi has scored the final goal of the Nigeria match. I had the widest smile reading this. Like, you just can't help it. I also like the fact that the gun is literally his full-on aura now. This goal was actually insane. And whoa, whoa, whoa. What is Kuso doing down there? Bro, splishing and splashing around. This is just too funny. This is quite literally the worst way you can end off the game. I can't prove it, but I just know Kaneshiro is making a laughingstock of Kuso, because this match was just back-to-back public humiliation ritual for bro. If there is one thing I'm amiss from the Nigeria match, it gotta be the Kuso slander. The chapter isn't over yet though. We see Henri shocked at Isagi's goal, calling out that it was a quick reverse side shot volley. And then Isagi starts dialoguing that he doesn't need anything that goes as planned to stagnate us. To survive on the battlefield, he'll keep experimenting on himself. And get ready for the D1 Kuso glaze. He's coming in full force to analyze everything from the way Isagi moved his hair to the way he ties his shoes, all to say he's the most amazing handsome player ever. I'm not gonna lie though, Kuso's glaze is justified this chapter. Like, Isagi deserves it after pulling off a goal like that. And folks, I don't think anything can prepare us for Isagi Yoichi's next actions, because he smiles and says, your thrill or football isn't enough anymore, Ego Jinpachi. Ref, judge, someone, stop bro, please! Ain't no way he's taking shots at Ego now. He just out-egoed Ego himself. This man cannot be stopped. This is the greed they talk about in the Bible. I just know the Isagi Glazers are rejoicing right now, losing a certain event that happens in November. You know, when SpongeBob had the best day ever, this is the best day ever for Isagi fans. I'm feeling like Kuso at this point because now I'm shocked. Ego just sits there silently as the last page shows Isagi screaming out for his goal celebration. We see Bachira, Raichi, and Corona run in towards him to celebrate as the opening match of the U20 World Cup has ended in a 4-0 win for Japan. What an insane chapter to end off the Nigeria game, folks. I was honestly speechless this chapter, which doesn't happen much. Y'all know I yap like crazy, but this time around, I was just smiling ear to ear. And that's when you know the chapter is good, when you just shut up and read. There is so much to discuss with this chapter, though. Obviously, Isagi beat the no-goal allegations. I gotta say, we all kind of saw it coming, but not in the style that he did it in. It really was shocking to see Isagi score a jumping volley. I'm glad Kaneshiro can always keep it refreshing when it comes to his goals, because we can obviously expect him to score, but the way he scores is different, and that's what I love. 4-0 ending in the opening match is bonkers too. I mean, Nigeria just got completely shut out, and I can't wait for their reactions. We're gonna get it in the next chapter. Obviously, some Isagi dialogue on his goal, and then Nigeria's dialogue after the game, which I'm interested in after seeing such a big loss, whether they take it well or how they are going to react. The Kuso glaze will be so funny too, so I can't wait for that. And another reaction I'm waiting for too is Ego Jinpachi. I wonder what he thinks now about Isagi saying those words towards the end of the chapter, because honestly, I do think Ego has always wanted someone like Isagi, who is chasing his own ego, always innovating and never settling for less. So even though Isagi is kind of biting the hand that feeds him and telling Ego, I don't need you anymore, Ego, I honestly think, would be fine with it. He also didn't show any emotions, so that's why I'm kind of curious to see his reaction. I might save my final thoughts for this match in another video, but just my small thoughts on the game as a whole. I know this was a very controversial game for a lot of people. I saw a lot of people that love it, and I also saw a lot of people that hated it. To point out a few things, I do think this game lacks in the way of being interesting, but the writing for Nigeria and the character development we got in this match was really, really good. Many characters got highlighted in such a short amount of time. The only thing is, the result for this match was always going to be a loss. So no matter how long they dragged it out or how long they made this game, it was still gonna end up in a loss, which I've seen a lot of people complain about. Because the game itself wasn't a challenge, it's hard for people to get really engaged with the chapters week by week when it's just a complete and utter stomp. All the other Blue Lock games balanced between being a challenge and also development, so by removing one aspect, the challenge aspect, it was a 4-0 sweep, it isn't as interesting. But to that, I also gotta say, it's just the name of the game. It's the first match. There is no world where they lose this game because they needed to advance past the groups, and I still enjoyed it a lot. I even saw people calling the U20 World Cup arc mid off of this game. Bro, this is the first game. I was reading during the start of the NEL too, and people were saying the same thing, comparing the U20 match to the NEL first match, so I'm getting some deja vu. I know there are some longtime readers who are on this channel and people who picked it up recently. I love all of y'all, but just let Kaneshiro cook. I've been through this process before. He hasn't disappointed us so far with the other arcs. I enjoyed the writing we saw in this match, so if he applies that to the other matches like France, which are going to be more engaging because of the characters, then we are in for something really good. I can't lie though, I'm definitely excited for this game to end, and not because I didn't like it, but because we are finally getting into the France game and other U20 World Cup updates. Which brings up the next chapter title as well. Chapter 326 is called Cola. Now, what the hell is Cola is a good question. If I had to take a guess, it's probably the new Gen 11 for France. And just hearing that alone is super exciting. Another new Gen 11 being revealed is always a very fun thing. The reason why I think it's a new Gen 11 as well is because the last time we got a random title like this was the Bunny chapter. So just by association, and because that chapter was called Bunny and Bunny is the new Gen 11, this chapter name is probably just his name. And what's our thoughts on this, y'all? We got some sick names like Michael Kaiser, and then you got Cola. So I don't know, I feel like there's some favoritism there. I'm super hyped to see him. There is around 5 chapters left of this volume, so that means we have 5 chapters to update us on other World Cup games, and Nagi, Seishiro, and other things. And that's something to really look forward to. That is a lot of chapters, so we may end up even seeing some of the actual games instead of just the score of the games. And that's why I think we might see the France New Gen 11 and how he plays and everything like that, which I'm all for that. Seeing new characters, seeing returning characters, Nagi, Seishiro, all those things, because I think it would really be a breath of fresh air. But anyways, it's been such a wild ride with the Nigeria game. So much ups and downs, but I've enjoyed it. It's been like 4 months, which I can't believe it's been going on for that long. It felt like a little longer too. The France game is finally here, so if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with everything Blue Lock. If there was any time to stay updated, it's definitely now. If you made it to the end though, thank you so much for watching as always. I appreciate it so much. YouTube really thinks you'd like this video right here, so be sure to check that one out too, and I'll see y'all very, very soon.